recording?
Quick break. Hey friends, I'm Julia.
And I'm Raisa.
And we're the founders of Friends Club. So we asked on our story to ask us questions about life, business, anything you want, and we're gonna answer them.
Yeah.
If you are wondering, I'm sitting kind of like this because I like this side of my face better.
You do it again.
And we want to start doing this more often because we want to get to know you guys.
No, we want them to get to know us.
But we
also want to get to know them, but
that's true.
the first question is, how did you two meet?
So we met freshman year of college. You know, like when you're trying to find a roommate, we still have our messages from then. We were at the same orientation.
Yeah, and I thought Julia was so cool, so I DM'd her. It was like, you know, like the girl flirt on Facebook, and we like clicked right away.
We were like literally complete opposites going into college. Like I was like a wild, crazy psychopath, and Raisa was just so like timid to herself. She also has like a crazy side. We think the same way, I feel like, business-wise, fashion-wise. Like we had like the same clothes. I remember she wore like a hairstyle when I first met her, and it was like half up, half down. Like a normal hairstyle, but like no one ever wore their hair like that where I was from, and like I started wearing my hair just like that.
Yeah.
Literally after I met you,
I also did that same thing to you, like the way you did your makeup. I was like, that's cool. It sounds so corny, but it's like twin flame.
Yeah.
And like we just got along so well, and we've like been close. We just graduated, so for 4 years now.
We started a blog freshman year, and we would take, so embarrassing, if you lived in Fairweather at URI and you saw me and Raisa take pictures outside against the brick wall. No you didn't. No you did not.
Okay.
We wore
Sneaker wedges.
Sneaker wedges.
Sneaker wedges.
You know the hippie pants that like make your butt look huge? We wore those.
Flannels and chokers. Fishnet. Remember fishnets under jeans?
I wore fishnets under jeans. And
That was like
I legitimately thought I was like the hottest person ever, and I wasn't. So
no, it was so cringy, but
I apologize for that. So sorry you had to see that, but I think we're getting a little better. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Why did you start Friends Club?
So we started because I mean, I'll speak for myself, I don't want to speak for you, but I did not have a job coming out of college. I studied fashion merchandising and design. So the goal was like New York City. I want to work for like a big time fashion company on the corporate side. And that just wasn't falling into place for me.
Because there was a pandemic. We literally graduated middle of like Corona. Right when lockdown was starting, Julia texted me. She was like, Ray, like I have such a good idea for a hoodie. And I was like, okay, let me hear it. And she was like, we should start a business together.
Just do like loungewear, like comfy and streetwear. We didn't know what the future was gonna hold. The unknown is the scariest thing. I'm like, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but let's just like,
we didn't have anything to lose because we didn't have a job coming out of college, pandemic, and it was something that we've always wanted to do. No one ever taught us how to do this in college, even though we went to business school for fashion.
Yeah, we literally had, like she said, nothing to lose.
Yeah, it was the best time to take the chance, and we're so happy that we did. Honestly, it's something that like fuels us every day to work harder on. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And it's just been like a learning process. Like we're basically like still learning every single day. We're teaching ourselves how to do everything. I mean,
we learned along the way.
Yeah.
It just goes to show, like, if we can do it, like
anyone can do it, trust me.
Yeah, it's possible. If you just put your mind to it, you do your own research, you can do literally anything you want.
Hard work and determination.
Also, another thing about, like, we kind of talked about it, but like, how did you start Friends?
So the first thing we did, I don't even, like, that was such a blur. Like I also, like, that Google.
The world closed March 16th.
Yeah.
So we literally were like, what do? We didn't know anybody in the fashion world. I remember I Googled manufacturers for hoodies and sweatpants. We reached out to a bunch. We just got samples. We asked people. You have to find the right people that are gonna work with you for your prices too.
Well, first we needed inspiration. I feel like we had to get a design down packed first, and then once we got that, we searched for a manufacturer. We got on a call with them. You probably hear this story all the time when people start business, but you're very naive and you go into it thinking like, whatever the manufacturer tells you, like, I get this done, this done, this done. let me tell you, we dropped a tank top first, right? That really
He told us it would take like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It took over a month.
Yeah. A mistake that we made is we like thought we could get our business like started right away, but it takes so long to even do the legal stuff and manufacturers. Like it's all on manufacturers' time, really.
Yeah, well, I think we both are the same way, where we want instant gratification. Like, I want the first thing to be a success. I want everything to just, like, fall into place. And, like, that is literally the farthest thing from what's going to happen. Like, you're going to get knocked down 100 times before you get back up. And, like, that's literally what happened to us. The biggest lesson is that you have to be patient. You hit big the first time, that's great. Like, all props to you, but it's hard.
Where does the name come from? So in college, like we mentioned earlier, that we had a blog and we never actually ended up publishing that blog. It was so bad. We had no idea what we were doing. It was 2016, but it was called J, Ray, and Ray because that's our nicknames. So when we were thinking of names for Friends Club, we had no idea what we wanted, and we were gonna do J, Ray, and Ray. We wanted this to be like...
We didn't want it to make it about us. Like, we didn't want our names attached to it. Like, we wanted it to be a community, and that's where Friends Club kind of started. Like,
not just like merch.
Yeah.
So we were just going back and forth for like weeks of like the most random stuff for names. We studied abroad in Florence together, and it was like the most amazing experience. Just the style there and the lifestyle. Florence in Italian is Firenze. We did like a little twist on it, and then
took out the vowels,
and then it sounded like Friends.
But me and Raisa, we were calling it FRNZ. We weren't saying Friends because we were like, yeah, it's kind of corny to be like, oh, friends, like a friends club, like just like didn't sit right with me. But then everyone, like our family, was like, oh, friends club.
How's it going? How's Friends Club? And we were like, oh.
And we're like, oh, I guess that's how people, I mean, when you see it, it does make sense that it's Friends Club.
And we're two best friends.
We're two friends
starting it.
And we want everyone to become friends who are part of it. So that just made the most sense.
Our goal, I feel like, in the future is like when you see someone wearing it, you're like, we see each other.
Yeah.
You know, like friends. I got you. You got me. How did you go about finding a manufacturer? We kind of touched on that, but
trial and error. We have gone through probably like 5 manufacturers.
6, maybe. The biggest advice that I would say, get your sample from a manufacturer and then be like, no, fix this, fix that. Really about trial and error and finding like the right one who's going to give you a good price, because some people will charge you so much money, and also,
shipping is also super expensive.
Biggest advice, no one talks about this, but you really can just Google anything. And you know, it sounds like obviously, but we Googled manufacturers for what we wanted and they come up.
And MOQ is huge. Like, since we were just starting, we're like, I don't want to get 500 sweatshirts and then sell 2.
Yeah, so easy to find a manufacturer, but it's not easy to find the right one for you.
Yes.
So it's literally about trial and error, and that's what our biggest advice is. What is your design process like?
Our design process. So me and Raisa, I live in Connecticut. She lives in Jersey, so we only see each other sometimes once a month, sometimes longer, whatever. So it's basically back and forth, texting each other different designs. Shout out to Adriana, who helped us on the social distance butterfly sweatshirt. She was literally amazing.
We had the design, we had the concept, like we had it written out on paper, and we had some experience with Photoshop and Illustrator, but not that much, because like
I suck at it.
We just didn't get the proper education for that. But yeah, so some designs we do ourselves, but others that we really like can't figure out, we have gotten graphic designers to help us. But the inspiration that we get is like honestly from like, though you were in my dream last night, Julia literally was going to bed and she thought of it. Other times we see Pinterest that sparks something. Some people give us suggestions too. And
we're like,
amazing.
That's great.
The next question is, where do you see Friends going in the next year?
Big time. No, that's obviously like the end goal. But I think we both want to make it more of a community. We really just want to be like as open and honest with like how we do everything, our customers, how we do everything.
And even just people who want to start our own business.
I also just see us like just creating more drops.
Plan to be more, like more drops in a month.
Big, fun, cool things coming.
Yeah.
Which I'm super, super excited about.
We just need this pandemic to What has been the most rewarding part about starting your own clothing business?
Getting like DMs and messages from people when someone says how much they love Friends Club and
Or they feel good wearing it.
They feel good wearing it. Like, us putting ourselves out there is one of the most rewarding things ever. When you put yourself out there, like, people are always gonna judge. There's always gonna be a certain group of people that are gonna judge you because they're like, well, what does she think she's doing? And you do hear that, like, that happens all the time. There's always gonna be those people. But I think the most rewarding thing is like showing that we still show up every day and we're still doing it.
And people have honestly been so supportive with us. But I feel like when we hear people we don't talk to or not close to reach out, like take time out of their day to like reach out and be like, hey, like I got my friends and I love it. I just feel like most rewarding is seeing people that like you don't know really congratulate you. Because
Yeah.
Also another thing is I just literally love seeing people in it and taking pictures. So if you have your friends, send us your pictures, please. You're gonna have people who want you to fail.
Everyone,
but
there's so many
push
people that
through,
want to see you
baby.
fail, but
Tips on confidence and posing in pictures.
confidence
From within.
comes from within. That is like the biggest piece of advice I could give. I feel like social media is like one of the biggest things that brings people's confidence down. Unfollow or mute the people that don't make you feel good. One of our favorite podcasts is Skinny Confidential. She always says this, like, follow good people, listen to good podcasts. If you're like feeling down, like instead of listening to music, put on a podcast, put on an educational podcast or a health and wellness podcast. You will feel so much better. Like, do something that you could take something away from it. Do you know what I mean?
I find myself sometimes like just aimlessly scrolling on Instagram, so like TikTok.
Everyone puts the most perfect part of their life
Because you
on
can
Instagram.
see us, even I know us, we'll post a TikTok of our day in the life and it's so perfectly edited and
It's calculated. Everything's like calculated.
We literally posted one yesterday, and yesterday we had this most rushed packed day ever. It's not real. Social media is not real. So mute the people who don't make you feel good, unfollow them.
Go outside once a day, go for a walk. You'll feel so much better, eat healthy. It sounds so cliche, like everyone says the same thing, but it's literally true.
So the other question was tips on posing.
Find your best angle. Like,
Honestly, practice in the mirror and have good friends to
take
help
pictures.
you.
You need someone like literally getting on their hands and knees for you.
Get yourself a friend that gets on the floor for your pictures.
Like,
Also, another
what
thing
I did.
is tripod. Get a tripod, put your phone up, and get a little clicker and take your own pictures. How would you stay inspired? To be honest, we have a hard time sometimes. 'Cause
Sometimes we get really down.
life brings you down.
Everyone has bad days.
And
For me, I have to be doing something to get inspired. Like if I'm just sitting around in my house all day, like nothing comes to me. But then the second I'll get in my car, like do something, then something comes to my mind.
we mentioned this before, but honestly, podcasts like Ed Milet, Skinny Confidential. Whenever I'm like down about business or life, put on a podcast, and it's just like so motivating.
I mean, we get a lot of inspiration from like Pinterest. For us, like I feel like we really look up to Indie Blue. Like she's like amazing. The way she runs her business,
She's just really real, so people relate to her, and
like nothing is censored. Like I just feel like she's so open about her life, and I love that about her because you don't really see that on social media.
okay, 2021 fashion trend predictions.
I think color, like for me, like I think like orange like / peachy is gonna be huge. I know green was like last year. I'm kind of over it.
I think
I'm
neon was
sick of seeing it.
And also the chunky rings, those fur jackets, like the
Fur on the collar,
jacket,
fur
yeah.
here. I love that style, but like that's not kind of like the goal for Friends Club. I think sweat sets and like stuff like that is here to stay. I think like super casual but really cool streetwear is gonna be in again this year. I know it was in last year, but I think it's still gonna be a huge trend. Streetwear that you could add like just jewelry and like a cool shoe and a jacket.
And that could be an outfit.
And that's just like a dope outfit.
I think everyone noticed being home, like you just want to be comfy but also feel good about yourself. Thoughts on cheap trends, example, shoelace belt, scrunchie, etc.
I think the shoelace belt is so cute. I've never done it because my pants aren't baggy enough, but
And
I think it's cute.
scrunchies
Like
I wear all the time.
scrunchies, I wear them all the time.
Those are the best hair ties. Come on.
Yeah.
Even the big scrunchies. Who do you look up to? We kind of said this, but Indie Blue, Lonely Ghost is a huge inspiration to us. 437.
They're amazing. Those girls are amazing.
Yeah.
We love them.
Favorite YouTuber?
When it comes to like fashion, Colleen Diaz is freaking amazing. Like literally everything she puts on her is amazing. Her vlogs are so cool. She listens to really dope music, best style, best hair, best makeup. Like she's awesome.
I've been so into Julia and Hunter Havens. Like they're just amazing.
So cute.
Olivia Jade, we are obsessed with her. Kian Milburn, Lauren Giraldo, Claudia Salewski. I have a bunch. I've been watching YouTube forever.
Bretman Rock is literally freaking hilarious. Like I literally
Cody
die
Ko.
laughing. Cody Ko, if
Noel.
you want a good laugh, they're hilarious. David Dobrik.
Oh, David,
Post a
obviously.
video. I don't know.
Yeah, David posted a video. There was a question, what are some new, like any new designs coming soon?
Yes. And I'm really excited.
Yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions, we literally are open. We love when people ask us or just tell us what they would love. But yeah, we would love to do more YouTube videos, more videos like getting into the nitty-gritty of business, the hardships, I don't know, life, like just our life.
More personal if you guys
Yeah.
like want to get more personal with us.
Yeah, but
Vlogs, like that's
yeah,
like
we could definitely vlog our days.
I'm in this room like 24/7.
Always remember, kill it with kindness, hug your loved ones tight, and be a social butterfly, but not too social because there's a pandemic.
Peace out.
We love you. Peace out.
Mwah.